I think Sydney Sweeney should start thinking about starting an OnlyFans. Because I don't
she'd
think
make
this
money doing
acting
that.
shit working.
Realistically, I would have probably left. Even if it was the risk of my child be taken from me, to be honest.
Damn. I want to teach women how to spot a man that'll hit them.
Welcome back, everybody, to the No Script Pod. This is season 2. Today, we're talking about The Housemaid.
Yes, we are, man. And I'm here with T today, man, because I got to stop drinking.
2026, no drinking. Well, maybe. Definitely for a while, at least. Stomach can't handle it no more. We're getting old. This is a pretty good thriller, though, I'd say overall. It's on the upper half of my 2025 list. But it has some problems.
Let's hear it.
One of my complaints is the side characters are so cartoonishly dumb. A lot of thriller movies has this problem. The side characters and even the main cast a lot of times, they just make horrible, dumb decisions. That's how they build tension a lot of times, is through dumb decision making. But why would they do that when they could just make the circumstance make the tension instead of the dumb decisions of each character? Nina, she is a piece of shit by trying to get out of an abusive situation by putting another young woman into the hands of an abuser.
I agree.
But Millie is also a piece of shit because Nina's plan only works if Millie sleeps with a married man. And that's something you should never do. And her making those bad decisions is what got her into that situation. If she would have just kept her mouth shut, just be like the maid, be like Enzo, she would have never been in the situation to get abused. And so that's not me blaming the victim, but she did have a hand in putting herself into that situation.
I read the book. Well, I didn't read the book, but I watched the synopsis on the book.
Yeah.
I don't read shit.
Yeah.
And in the book, Nina has a 3-step plan. And step 1 of her plan is to make Millie hate her so much that she'd sleep with her husband. Considering some of the shit Nina puts Millie through, it's kind of like Get Back at that point.
It is kind of like Get Back, but don't you think it would just be a smarter decision to maybe get back by telling him to leave his wife, and then they can be together afterwards?
Does it matter?
I don't think it necessarily matters, but I think that it's just a good moral thing to do.
I get you. I don't think she planned to sleep with him, though. It was just kind of something that happened one night.
I don't think that necessarily excuses, because she still had to make the choice in the end. She went over to his room and she's venting or whatnot, and obviously he's a piece of shit, so he's preying on the vulnerable, and while she's in a weak state, and then, takes advantage of her, basically. He didn't grape her that night. She made the choice to continue.
He probably would have, though. What's your biggest compliment to the movie?
My biggest compliment is the main cast. I think they do a really good job. Specifically Nina. I think Sydney Sweeney is a whatever actor.
Yeah.
I think she plays her part okay. Nothing spectacular. But Nina really plays the shit out of a psychotic person. It was all the signs of what psychosis and depression does to somebody. They're just so nice one moment, and then they're crazy in another moment. Whoever played Nina did a really good job with her.
Well, man, I hate to break it to you, but my biggest complaint is that these characters are extremely bland. I think Sydney Sweeney should start thinking about starting an OnlyFans. Because I don't think this acting shit working, man.
Well, I think
she's such a bland actress, right?
I agree.
She had a single emotion nearly the entire film. And to add to that point, I do think that Nina, or what's her name, Amanda Seyfried, plays the role of Nina well. But I read the book, and
well, you didn't, but synopsis.
I listened to the book, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Nina is a fat white woman in the book.
Interesting.
And the reason that she is a fat white woman is because she purposely gains weight So Andrew isn't attracted to her anymore. The story specifically calls for a big white woman, and you cast a chalk stick, probably the skinniest white woman you could find.
Do you think that that was necessary? Like she had to have been a big white woman?
I do.
You think so?
I think that representation in Hollywood is important. And I think that a lot of the reason why there are no longer any relatable characters coming out of Hollywood is because all of them look like celebrities. This movie tries to convince us that Millie is a homeless lady on parole who killed a man.
Right.
Meanwhile, she looks like a Victoria's Secret model in damn near every scene. I'm not buying it.
She bad.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
I agree.
and I think Hollywood got a major problem with
To
it.
go back to your Nina point about it being a bigger woman, I think that the purpose for her being bigger is she's trying to get away from him. But she does that in other ways. She does that by not getting her roots done. She does that by acting crazy.
Well, that's a plot point in the book too.
Yeah.
The roots thing. So, I mean, I just don't understand. How many big white women are there in Hollywood? Probably a lot. A decent amount to cast.
Yeah.
If not, there's a bunch of big white women that want to be actors.
Right.
Cast one of them.
Yeah.
Why are you going to cast a skinny woman for a big woman role? I hate when Hollywood does that, man. Like Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Come on, bro.
Right.
Like just cast a fat white dude. You literally spending more money on makeup to make a skinny dude look fat. What happened to actors like Jack Black?
Right. I mean, he's still
Danny
going.
DeVito.
He's still going, but I mean,
Do you
Jack
think
Black
he'd make it if he was a new actor emerging today? I don't think he would. Hollywood only like models.
Well,
bro.
the thing is, like, they fall into the same type, though. Like, Jack Black and Danny DeVito are both the funny guys.
But Jack Black has been the star of movies before. He's without a doubt a star. But not even just big, right? I don't want to just gripe on big people.
Right. But just
but
like
normal looking people. A guy that I could run into at the store. Adam Sandler.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? An old guy like Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Everybody in Hollywood is like 30 in perfect shape. And I'm like, man, that's not relatable. I can't get into it.
No.
So that's my biggest complaint. As for compliments, I think that the movie subverts audience expectations well.
I think the best way to describe it is that it does its job.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
That's what I'll say. Let's talk about the themes of this movie, man.
Right.
And one of the things I want to talk about first is abuse and manipulation. You know, and I want to teach women how to spot a man that'll hit them. First dead giveaway.
Right.
I knew that Andrew would hit a woman.
Right.
The white tank top. It's a staple in the domestic violence household, AKA the wife beater. Anytime he's comfortable, he's wearing a wife beater.
So do you think that all men that wear wife beaters,
They beat women. Yeah, I think if you're looking for a man, ladies, his sleeves should be at least 6 inches. If his sleeves don't cover the shoulder, he gonna hit you.
Yeah, and this also had me thinking of a previous conversation we've had about traditional marriage versus modern marriages. And, you know, I don't think this movie changed my opinion on what I want, but I think that serves a great lesson for women that they should never bank on finding a traditional lifestyle to where they're basically beholden to their husband, because they can find themselves into situations like this, financially, that is. Not that all men would do that, but you're putting yourself in a risky situation.
Another dead giveaway for Andrew is he's way too calm. He's like,
Right.
I'm not gonna hit you now, but when everybody go to sleep,
When the doors are closed.
if your husband don't argue with you, he probably gonna hit you.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it could be likely, but you could also just say that the guy or the husband has emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence is arguing. I think that you should argue with your wife. You know, arguing prevents you from hitting her. You know, hitting women is easy. It's the easy route, bro. It's like giving into drugs. You know, I can only imagine.
I don't know.
It would be the easier thing to do, right? But you shouldn't hit women. You definitely shouldn't because you go to jail.
If you're somebody like Nina and you find yourself in a situation to where you're a single mother and you basically get saved by some rich man, and he basically is like, life's gonna be great, but you need to get your hair done. Do you think it's wise for you not to get your hair done?
Do you think it's wise? Do you keep talking?
Do you think it's wise for you to not get your hair done? Nobody should be hitting nobody.
Nobody should hit nobody.
But
that's wild, bro. Even I can't get behind that.
You probably shouldn't do that. But you should immediately probably call the cops.
What do that even mean?
She need to get up out of my house because she can't stay there.
You should call the cops. It's not a safe environment.
It's not. If your woman is resorted to throwing plates all over the place, she's lost the plot.
Yeah.
And she needs to get out of my house.
But I always tell women, I say, you never want a man that doesn't wear his emotions. Because if a man doesn't wear his emotions, you'll wear his emotions. In the form of a black eye, a busted lip, bruises. You'll wear his emotions.
No, I can't agree with that. I can't. Because a man that wears his emotions is the man that will beat you.
I don't think so. I think the man that'll beat you is the silent guy that makes everything look perfect. I think that's what the movie is damn near saying.
I disagree. I think that, I don't think that's what it's saying at all. I think it's saying that you shouldn't trust just because it looks perfect doesn't mean it is perfect on the inside. But I don't think that somebody that's just like has a cool temper and doesn't just go off the rails every second and just like call your girl a dumb...
Go off the rails, but a guy who's super composed and keeps it all tight and held in is going to let it out eventually.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's on her though. Why can't he let it
But
out?
does it matter who's it on?
Yes, it does.
Either way, he's gonna hit somebody.
No, it doesn't have to be somebody. It could be a punching bag. What if he does boxing classes?
Bro, imagine you so afraid to argue with your wife that you gotta pay for boxing classes.
It's not about necessarily. Why do we have to argue though?
Arguing is like crying, bro. Like nobody wants to cry, but you have to release those emotions. I've never been angry and went to the gym and wasn't angry anymore.
So you think that yelling at your wife is gonna make you not angry anymore?
Yeah, if I'm mad at her, I'm mad at her. The gym ain't gonna help.
I don't think yelling at your wife is gonna help at all.
Do you think that crying is losing control of your emotions?
Yeah.
Do you think that you should cry?
For the most part, no.
See, we got to draw the line.
I think that like in most scenarios, if you cry, it's simply just you wasting time before you can actually solve your issues. So
you saying this for men or men and women?
I'm saying for people in general.
Damn.
If you feel like you need to, then sure, I guess go ahead. But you're definitely, I think it's wasting your time a bit.
Why everything about time, man? This is a waste of time. This is just art. Painting is a waste of time.
Sure.
Sometimes it's just about expression.
I just think it's a waste of time.
Don't matter, man. It ain't about time. It's about expression. Getting back to the movie.
Right.
Because we went off on a tangent. Yeah. If your husband likes to fight on Friday and he makes a lot of money.
Like fight you on Fridays?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he makes a lot of money. Do you think you endure or do you seek freedom?
Well, if I'm in an abusive situation, I'm leaving. It don't matter. Mm-hmm. It don't matter. You can call me, if they're trying to call me crazy, even if I'm risking getting my child taken away, I'm out. I don't care. Yeah. I'm not going to get physically abused and beat up.
Because I think Nina's in a pretty difficult situation in this movie. Would you say she's not?
Yeah, I would say she's 100% in a difficult situation. But
what would you do if you were in Nina's situation?
If I was in Nina's situation,
Because she's a woman who has nothing to her name,
yeah,
right? Her husband has convinced everyone that she's crazy, and he's dangling the threat of taking her daughter over her head.
yeah,
Is she getting abused? Yeah.
yeah.
But what are her real options? You know, you're saying no matter the level of abuse, you should leave.
Realistically, I would have probably left.
Mm.
Even if it was the risk of my child be taken from me, to be honest.
Damn.
Because I don't think that I think that if I stayed, I'd be setting a terrible example for my child.
But your husband that keeps her is probably going to set a much worse example.
Potentially. What's the use of both of us drowning?
Well, I mean, if you stay, I think you can prevent her from drowning. You just sacrifice yourself because you're still there at least to mentor her.
Maybe, but I mean, I think that she's not preventing herself from drowning. One, because she was literally getting drowned. But also two, like literally bro did drown her. Like literally bro drowned her. Like that's not even, but two, she was already picking up on the bad habits of, OJ is a privilege. And so I just think that she should have got out of there and set a better example. What I probably wouldn't do is set an even worse example for my child by putting another woman in the hands of an abuser in place.
Do you think that Nina is a bad person for putting Millie in that situation?
I think she made a bad decision. Whether a bad decision makes you a bad person, that might be a different conversation.
It's out of desperation, but
yeah,
I would agree. I do think Nina is pretty fucked up for what she did to Millie.
I agree.
Right? Because her plan is literally just to replace herself with a woman that was in the exact same scenario that she was in when she met Andrew.
Yeah.
Alone, naive, and no one to turn to.
Exactly. I think that Millie was right to forgive. I don't think she explicitly said that she forgives, but I think there's a bit of forgiveness to be had with somebody once she understood how bad Andrew was.
Yeah. And she gave her $100,000.
That'll sweeten the pot.
I'd forgive anybody.
Yeah, I'll say
you
that'll
give me $100,000, man.
Yeah.
I'll forgive you for anything.
That reminds me of what we all go through, like endurance versus a chance of freedom. What is a job? You're enduring shit so that you get to retire. The chance at freedom. How much of that are you willing to endure? We all have to make that decision of how much we're willing to endure for the chance at freedom.
How sorry do you feel for Andrew, given that his mom treated him the same way? Now, we see this time and time again in real life and in media.
Yeah.
The bully gets bullied at home.
Yeah.
But does that justify the bully's actions?
No. But there's a bit of a difference, I think, in that Andrew had the time to correct himself. He is a full-grown adult. When you have a child that is a bully, they're in 6th grade, they just don't have the emotional intelligence to process that, and that's all they come from, so they just, they end up being a bully. Does it make it right? No, but I feel much worse for a child that does that. I feel sad for them because of their circumstance, and they just don't have the emotional intelligence to make the right decision later on. With Andrew, though, you're a full-grown adult.
He's a grown man.
Andrew was locking them in a room and saying you got to pluck out 100 hairs with the follicles in, and then when he noticed that one of the hairs didn't have a follicle in, he made her do it again. You need to go to hell.
Yeah,
you are beyond redeemable.
He's a pretty bad guy. And then he makes Millie cut her stomach.
Yeah, and that's
disgusting. Actually very contradictory because he loves perfection.
Right.
And he makes Millie destroy her body.
Andrew is a bit too far gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably going to hell.
So for my first script or scrap, this applies to this movie, but also applies to the entire genre of thrillers. Do you think that this movie would have been better if they were more subtle with the clues? Like, for example, when they showed the deadbolt lock, they really put an effort into honing in on the deadbolt lock before anything was ever done. They made a point to where, hey, everybody, do you notice that this deadbolt lock is only on the outside?
Yeah.
Instead of just, if they just briefly passed by it and then later on she wakes up and tries to open the door and then realizes, oh my goodness, there's only a deadbolt on the outside. Do you think that it would have been better if this movie, along with other thrillers, would be like that?
Yeah, just gave you less clues and let you figure out for yourself.
That, and also like to where you don't even notice them until you do a rewatch.
I would script that. I think so.
Yeah.
You know, I think that filmmakers should trust their audiences more. My script or scrapped is, I think the twist, I want to rewrite the twist. I just want to rewrite the order of it. I think that a lot of the tension goes out the door when Nina leaves. Right? And it leaves you just almost knowing for sure that Andrew is the actual villain of this movie.
Yeah.
So the way that I would rewrite the twist is I would have the scene where Nina comes back to the house and she unlocks the door where Millie is. And from the audience point of view, Nina is coming back to kill Millie.
Right. They don't even show Andrew. It's just like a frame of her opening the door. Like it's showing her.
But Millie is already there with the cuts on her stomach.
Right.
And then the movie goes back and shows you the history. I think if you do it that way, you keep a looming threat and you keep the audience wondering. But I think once Nina is gone, all the tension is gone.
There could be the threat that Nina comes back.
That's what I was saying. But it doesn't feel like that's going to be the case at all.
I'd probably script that. That's a good idea. I think that would help with the tension. What would you rate this movie, man?
I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. Right? And let me tell you why, man. I do think that this is a good movie. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
I think it keeps you wondering, for the most part, what's going to happen at the end.
Yeah.
But one of the main complaints I have about this movie, I spoke about it before, the characters are bland. I desperately believe that Hollywood needs to bring back the normal looking actor so that I can put myself in their shoes. I just can't do it now.
Yeah.
You know, and it just leaves the experience feeling empty. Because I don't relate to the characters. They look too much like celebrities.
Yeah, they're too good looking.
It looks too much like a movie.
I think that my rating's very similar. I was deciding between 7, 7.5. I'm gonna go 7.5.
Okay.
And I just think that I would recommend this movie to a lot of people, mostly women. I think that the performances are pretty good. It's a little exaggerated, a little cartoonish, but I think it suspends belief or disbelief, and the twist is good enough to where it'll get pretty much everybody that watches it. If you don't know the backstory, you'll be fooled. And you'll fall into the charm of the main guy, Andrew.
Yeah. It won't get you if you watch this first, though. But
no, not if you watch this. But you know, I'd recommend everybody to go see it for yourself. It's still a good movie. If you enjoyed this episode, want to see more content of ours, go ahead and leave a like or rating, and let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.